Hello everybody and welcome to another video on Jurassic collectibles. Today I am very excited. We have got one of the newest Hammond Collection items, Velociraptor Blue, as you can see. And this is the first Hammond Collection item I've got for 2024. So this is a new packaging design that now features a render of the character on the front. I know some people aren't a huge fan of that, but I don't mind it personally. We've got the usual Hammond Collection branding. We now have got the Hammond Collection logo and lots of legal information on one side. A back of the box which gives us more photos of the figure, so they've done away with the descriptions and instead you get a closer look at some of the features. And you actually have this kind of like themed backdrop here which looks really cool. You can see that it's got quite a nice aesthetic value, I think. And then on the side here we have got that render of Blue. You can see this is inspired by Jurassic World, so designed to go with the new Owen Grady figure. I do have that figure on the way. It is currently stuck in customs, so ironically I was expecting to have reviewed that before I reviewed Blue, but Blue popped up on Amazon UK. I picked her up quite expensive in the UK, £22. And here we have her. So this is one that, like I say, I've been quite excited for. You can see getting her out of the packaging there. This is a figure that really does away with some of the older, more exaggerated dimensions of the Velociraptors to give us a new aesthetic. So quite excited to check it out, do a comparison for you with the original JP Raptor that we got, and see how Blue is different. So just gonna snip here. I'm not the biggest fan of these ties, I have to be honest. I understand why they're needed, but they can be a bit of a pain. Just gonna snip it on this side to stop any scratching. And there we go. So that is Blue out of the packaging. Just gonna put the tail in. Wrap the line around. I think that's the correct way to do that. Let's get her legs in the right position. And just check out those eyes. Yep, I think we've got them both in there properly. Cool, okay, so here is Hammond Collection Velociraptor Blue. If I zoom us in to give you a closer look. So as I alluded to at the start of this review, this is very, very different to the Raptors we know. So if I bring in the original Raptor, you can see that with Blue, they have really gone back to the drawing board here. So the feet are the most distinctive difference. You can see how much smaller Blue's feet are than the original. The arms, another difference with them drooping down. And also on Blue, a new head sculpt with a shorter snout, and actually a snout that's much more accurate. And then the tail has got a little curved flick in it. That is kind of just there because it is the rubbery material. But you can see even the body appears to be a new sculpt to me. Actually, no, I think it is the same sculpt that we had before. The legs are definitely different. The legs here actually come down a lot further than on the old mould. They're a lot longer, a lot more exaggerated. And that builds into the new design for the feet. And again, the arms as well, there appears to be a little bit more length in the arms. So overall, you do have a lot of new sculpting on this Raptor. It's not just kind of the noticeable elements. And now bringing Blue a little bit closer to give you a closer look, you can see my favourite thing is that there's this kind of almost purple paint for sort of scars and scratches, which looks really, really cool on this figure. It adds some much needed character to Blue, and it does look very awesome. Now getting her legs in the right pose is a little bit of a challenge. I'll probably look at some photos of her later to see exactly how to do that. But there you can see those new smaller feet. We'll get them in focus for you. The same range of motion that you would expect, but these are just smaller. They've got nice texture work across them. Again, nice texture work in that leg as well. The tail here, the same kind of tail we expect from the Hammond Collection, has got the little droop at the back. We could actually twist this one around and have it angled that way as well if we wanted. Unfortunately, the quality control on the tail leaves a lot to be desired. So you can see up here there is a blue paint smudge. There is blue paint on the tail just there on mine, and also blue paint on the tail just there as well. So not particularly ideal paintwork wise for the tail. Could definitely look a bit better here, I think, but that is unfortunate, so I may have to get another one for my photos. Beyond that issue with the tail, the rest of the paint on the stripe is handled really nicely. You can see on the eye just there, if we get that in focus, the paint there does look really good on the eye. The head, that really nice range of motion that comes from using the Dilophosaurus joint, works really well for the raptors as well. And then that newer style jaw. Actually, interestingly, there is a lot of overhang there. That does not look great at all. I almost wonder if they've used the wrong jaw for this, or if the jaw's not in there properly, or if there is meant to be that amount of overhang. That does not look great. Not going to be lie about it, that does not look great at all. That does not look like it's pushed in all the way, so that is quite unfortunate. You can see it on the sides here, if we get it back in focus. Again, some nice paintwork, nice underbelly paint on this figure as well, really appreciate that. We do have the Jurassic World logo on the foot just there. Get that to focus for you. Camera is taking a little bit longer to focus at the moment. There we go. And all in all, she is not a bad figure. You know, the wrists being fixed is quite cool. It does create that raptor aesthetic a lot more, actually, with having them like that. I'm sure you could get the figure hanging off of stuff as well. The big issue with this one is those eyes, as you can see there. So this has swapped over to glass eyes now, and that does mean that they are darker. So if I just grab a light for a moment, you'll see that it's really difficult to get some light in there. So if I bring this in, you can see, much like the Rex, if I bring it closer to the camera, at certain angles, like there, you'll see the eye. Equally on the other side, at certain angles, you'll see it fine. If we can get it to focus again. Yes, to see some angles you will be able to light that up, other angles it's going to be quite difficult. So it does mean that sadly most of the time Blue has got this dead eye aesthetic. I like the idea in principle of doing the glass eyes in this collection, but I just don't think it works on the smaller dinosaurs, so I hope it's something they revisit before we get the rest of the Raptor squad. So usual articulation, ball joint at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist just there, or the elbow even, so shoulder, elbow, neck, head with the pivot, the jaw that opens, legs move forward and back, ball joint at the knee, ball joint at the ankle, and joint and also bend on the tail. And you can see just there, center of gravity is held very nicely with the new feet. So overall, I think that the new Hammond Collection Blue is a cool figure. I do think it's a shame that once again it's a figure that is plagued by quality control issues. The overbite on the jaw and the paint splashes on the back of the figure's tail are really unfortunate, because they take away from what would otherwise be a really welcome Velociraptor to add to the collection. I do think it's a shame that the Hammond Collection more broadly feels like one of our strongest product offerings we've ever had for Jurassic, but it is constantly marred by quality control issues. Mattel, if you're watching this, you're onto a winner with this line, but you do need to do better to keep us engaged, I feel. With all of that said, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, favourite and subscribe, And until the next review, take care and have a great week.